right, so here we go. Welcome to round three, everybody. We've got Stone Scar in the hands of deedub versus Yetis in the hands of Ron. All right, this is a keeper. What do you think of this hand here, Ilya?
Oh, this is kind of marginal because impatient pyromages aren't real two drops.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you
Yeah.
go, power impatient power pyromage, you're probably discarding whatever you top deck unless it's a one drop. But Ron misses his one drop, so
Yeah, don't love
initiative
that.
goes back to D Dub, and this is why playing one health units is
Mm.
such a pain.
Here you go.
So
This
D
deedub
Dub.
does have the double Pyro Knight, but as we called out in the last round, Yeti Pioneer into Pok Pok, giving you that free snowball. Oof, deedub does not like having all these one health units against a snowball deck.
No, no. This is painful. The question is, do you take the risk that Ron is going to come down with a Lord in some capacity
All
and
right,
and
let's see
and,
what they
and
do. They do have
crush.
Wump in hand, as well as a Pummel, a Snowcrest Yeti, and a Power Glider, but their power for the turn did come in depleted. So they're going to get that power back with the Yeti Pioneer. That's why it says 3 there up at the top. But because it was on
Yep.
the attack, they weren't able to deploy the Lord first. Why you see
Right,
that.
right. So D Dub really on the back foot here. Has to impatient pyromage to try and hit power. Hits
Well,
a one
it's
drop
a
instead.
grenade drone. It's something you can cast. Yeah, you say they're on the
Yep.
back foot. It's got to be awkward when you go turn one, one drop, turn two, two one drops, and you're on the back foot.
Yeah, yeah. So one thing I wondered was were we gonna see the torch come out on the Yeti Pioneer? You know, e- I think you absolutely have to take out Yeti Pioneer.
Yeah.
Uh, even if there's a threat of a wump, uh, the amount of initiative that an unanswered Yeti Pioneer is just so much.
And Ron just hitting the gas here, just a spacing, got the pummel to follow it up on the blocks. Ooh, things coming up Ron all day here. Look at this. Even with that quick
Yeah.
start, deedub just doesn't have it, and they're going to miss their power, and Bandit Queen is the last thing you wanted to see off the top of the deck, the way the game's going right now. Now you've got to
Ugh.
burn the torch on the Wump. Gonna attack, but that'll put your
Oh, so
Lurking Sanguar there, though, free cost. So that's pretty good. That's a way to get cheat on power a little bit.
oh yeah, yeah. So this is a bit of a tempo swing from D Dub's part. So the question is, how do you block here? And
And that's actually huge
Dita,
for Dita because of the Reckless on Pok Pok. You know what matches up well against a 1-5 Reckless is a 4-2 lifesteal. Bounce off that Pok Pok, gain that 4 health. Now, did actually double block to kill it, which is interesting. I think that's the right play, but it is interesting. That 4-2 lifesteal matches up really well with the 1-5 Reckless.
for sure, for sure. So D Dub, still swinging away,
Yeah,
going to gonna trade some units, clean up this board a bit, and Ron is out of gas, and D
yeah.
Dub is
D-Dub's turned
now,
this around a little bit. And they're able
yeah.
to deploy their Pyro Knight here. They've got the 4-2 lifesteal. That was huge getting that through, getting this Pyro Knight, and now this Bandit Queen's looking a little better. Wasn't great the turn they drew it, but now they're getting to a point in the game where Dita might be able to deploy this and do some damage here. Ron's going to be able to play out another elemental here. Now a 2 on Aegis after the nerfs a couple months back or weeks back, but yeah, D-Dub now all 1 health units. D-Dub can get aggressive here. Only going to attack with the 1 Grenin though to trigger that onslaught here. See what they
Yeah,
draw.
so don't want to.
Oh, brutal. Brutal
Oh no!
punish for not attacking with the 2 units.
Oh no! Yeah, that's a heartbreaker.
So flipping the Sangwar off of the onslaught, but unfortunately, because only did 1 damage, was not able to deploy that out. Had to discard it. Here comes the painting.
Yeah, so,
Ooh, painting depleted on turn 4, not able to deploy out that Bandit Queen.
yeah, that's rough.
Oof. And now the Mask Maker out of the Yeti's deck, going to be able to pump those elementals up to 3/2s. But here comes the Bandit Queen.
Oh,
Seeing A
okay,
space here.
so essentially, as Ron, your job is how do I stay alive at the same time, how do I have enough to crack back? Because my opponent's at 12 life.
Yeah, well, they
He's
do
not
have a
looking
Wump in
great.
hand. They do have a Wump in hand. Now, that's not going to pump, two of their units are elementals, so it's not actually going to pump any Yetis here.
Yeah, this is not enough damage.
And that's going to be it. D-Dub, what a comeback. Well played by D-Dub. Played that pretty tightly at the end there. That 4-2 lifesteal on that attack was huge. That was a turning point in that game. What a turn.
Oh, absolutely. How do you completely swing an aggro matchup? Well, how about getting multiple swings with a life stealer? So Pop Buck absolute beating to one drop, one health aggro units, but then gets absolutely smashed by Lurking Sanguar. Oh boy, we haven't seen this kind of Stone Scar aggro deck in a long time, and by that I mean like worlds. First ETS Worlds when I brought Rally Queen. That didn't go too well for me.
All right, let's see what they got here. D-Dub, great win there in game one. Looking at a hand of Grenadin Drone, Torch, Bandit Queen, and 4 power. You don't love starting with 4 power, but you think they keeps it anyway?
This is so marginal. This is so marginal. D-Dub is
Yeah.
essentially going to keep saying, I have a 1-drop, I have a Torch. I'm going to think about the top of my deck to, just draw me hot fire because this is kind of anemic.
All right, looking at the hand here, we've got Champion of Fury, Maskmaker, Masterwork, Blazing Salvo, and a 2nd power. Only 2 power in hand right now. Well, there's a Fire Sigil off the top. So I think you're going to have to deploy out this Diplomatic Seal, go for Primal. That's what they're going to do. You got 2 Masterworks, a Maskmaker, a Champion of Fury, and a Blazing Salvo. So lots of options here for Ron.
So as I said, Throne is about spending your power and making the most of the few turns you have. So we're going to see a Champion of Fury come out. That's just a 3-1 overwhelm. I have to imagine it's not long for this world, because D-Dub wants to deploy the Bandit Queen, but no, D-Dub is going to allow the Champion of Fury to stick. I'd play this a bit more conservatively if I were a D-Dub, but D-Dub's saying this is my only piece of removal, and I better save this for the Lord.
All right, and there's a Maskmaker here. That's a bonus Lord. Maskmaker, for those of you who don't know, not the most popular card. Your other units that share a type with it get +1/+1, and you choose a type as it enters the battlefield. So you can make it a Yeti, even though it don't really look like a Yeti. You can make it a Yeti, pump up your Yetis, get sort of that extra Lord value off of it. But D-Dub's going to go ahead and torch that, get that off the board. But in Ron's hand is 3 Thudrock's Masterworks and a Torrential Downpour out of the market. Look at that.
No.
Blazing Salvo into Downpour. D-Dub says, get that board out of here and hit you down to 8. Oh, and now D-Dub on the sad Bandit Queen.
Yeah, D-Dub.
That was brutal there.
Attacking with those Grendon early, just allowed Ron to race far ahead in this life race. And then that downpour was
absolutely brutal. That sad Bandit Queen's going to hit Ron for 4, but Thudrock's Masterwork going to come here. Well, maybe. Also has a Torch and a Ash Elemental. Could go for that, but no, just going to go ahead and hit that Masterwork with an extra one in hand. And Ron's going to tie it up 1 game apiece.
Yeah, so that was an iffy keep on D-Dub's part. I understand that, hey, you're running a 25 power deck. You see 4 of them in your hand. You have a 1-drop. You have a Torch. Let's allow the deck to bail you out. And the draws were kind of iffy. You saw the turn 2 and the turn 3 were, just kind of iffy on D-Dub's part. And then by the time the turn came for the Bandit,
all right, game
there's just
3.
nothing left to pump up.
Game 3, we've got a pair of 2-0 players here. Game 3, who wants to start 3-0 and get a good start, good setup for their top 4. All right, D-Dub, we've got Broken Contract, Stone Scar Painting, Salvo, Torch, Pyro Knight, Territorial Elf, and a Bandit Queen. And Ron's looking at a hand of 3 power, a Permafrost, a Yeti Pioneer, a Snowcrest Yeti, and a 2nd Yeti Pioneer. Pretty good hand here from Ron's side, and they're going to be on the play. They're going to go Yeti into Yeti Pioneer. That's about as good of a start you can ask for from the Yeti side.
Oh, for sure. So again, deedub on the draw. You know, they're going to have to really hope for that lurking sand because this looks like a Yeti deck that's on the warpath.
Yeah, D-Dub
I
seeing the writing on the wall right off the bat saying, I'm going to block that Yeti. Give me the chance. And they will. That's a trade. But Ron's got Yeti Pioneer number 1 coming down with a second one up there.
Yeah, and if you're on the draw, you just want to block and take whatever trade you can get. Let's see if D-Dub blows up this Yeti Pioneer. I have to imagine the Blazing Salvo comes out right now because if I'm D-Dub, I do not want to risk, one of those 12 lords. I'm not sure if 12 or 10, but Wump, Masterwork, and Mask Maker.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I don't know if they're playing all the Mask Makers, but yeah, up to 12 lords here. It's pretty. That's a way to build it for sure. All right, Ron here. That's smart for D-Dub. Get that Yeti Pioneer off the board. Now Ron does have another one coming behind it. With a pummel, down to a pummel and a permafrost in hand, though. So, Ron, good starting hand, but D-Dub, pretty smart. Taking that early trade, firing off that salvo, really just saying, I'm going to try to keep your board as clear as possible. And Ron forced into permafrosting the 2-1.
Yeah, so if you're on the draw, all these 1-for-1s ultimately favor you because you start a card up. Usually in Throne, it doesn't matter because people die before people run out of cards. But as we see here, not quite the case.
There you go, taking care of the second Yeti Pioneer. D-Dub doing a great job here of controlling Ron's board. And here we go, get that elf down, and just check the deck list. It is 10 lords, so they're playing 2 of the Mask Maker, so full 4 Wump, full 4 Masterwork, but going with the 2 bonus lords there.
Reasonable.
Seems reasonable. Yep, absolutely. Right, Ron here, Silex off the top with another Silex in hand, but all right, here's a salvo.
See, this is the part where Stone Scar aggro is kind of inferior to Yeti aggro. Yeti has the lords, it has the Silexes. Both the decks should have the full assortment of emblems.
Now this is a little awkward. They are going to be able to take out that elf. They did draw. Ron drew Pock there, but notably Pock's bond ability, because its bond has to be on a Yeti. So this 2-1 cannot actually bond the Pock for a free snowball. But top decking that Wump will do the job. That'll get you the Pock down and the extra snowball, and that snowball will take out the 2-1. Huge Wump draw off the top for Ron that turn.
Oh boy. Yeah, 2/6, off the top. Luckily, D-Dub top decks the Granite Waystone. That Wump is gone. So now we're kind of back to parity-ish.
Yep. All right, here comes the salvo. Interesting. Gonna salvo their own 2-1 here.
You have to imagine that was a miss.
Salvoing their own 2-1 instead of the Grenin. Okay.
That's rough. You have to imagine that was a miss.
Gonna grab Torrential Downpour. Gonna play out that Powder Glider.
So this little Grenadine is going nowhere because it's up against a 1/2 and a 1/5.
Nowhere.
But hey, you can hard cast Lurking Sandwar.
Turns out they have that alternate mode of paying full value, but it's still a 4/2 lifesteal. And guess what? It survives Downpour. Unless you block here, which it's good to D-Dub seeing the writing on the wall, not gonna block that. Not gonna fall for any snowball or downpour shenanigans. Gonna keep their 4/2 lifesteal around. Here comes a broken contract to get a free 4/1 out of the deal. And there's a Praxis Outlaw, thanks to that ability. Now, do you fire off the downpour here? Take care of 3 units?
Well, it's not going to be 3. It's just going to be 2, with the most important one surviving.
Oof, yep, absolutely. All right, get that free attack. And Pyromage off the top is going to get you another Onslaught ability for D-Dub. Yeah, and there's a Fire Conjuring. Okay. You can decimate
you have
that for
7
sure.
power. Yep, and that's getting discarded anyway, so.
There you go. I've been impressed by
time
D-Dub's deck so far. Let's see. We can't see the options, unfortunately, but we will be able to see what he drew.
Oh,
Edict of Shavka. Okay.
oh, you're happy to see Edict of Shavka. D-Dub just holding it up, even though it's
Oh, and
not a
here's
cast
Bandit
spell.
Queen off the top.
Oh my
Is
god.
this just game? It's close.
If it's not game on the spot, it's certainly going to put D-Dub in a ridiculously advantageous position.
A space. If anybody's got the A space emote in chat, let's throw it down. A space with the Bandit Queen on top. That's going to deal a chunk of damage. It's going to essentially wipe D-Dub's board, put them down to 7. This Edict is going to come down and take care of the 2-1. Edict does not care at all about that Aegis ability. And now Ron's staring down a board. That Torrential Downpour, it'll do a little damage, but unfortunately, D-Dub's got some bigger creatures now.
Yep. So D-Dub, very, very nicely playing around the threat of the Downpour and was rewarded
too late. Yeah.
Well,
a little too late. Here comes the Outlaw and that following up. And again, the Lurking Sanguar, 7-3 lifesteal. That's a tough one for Yetis to deal with. Now, they have ways to deal with it, but unfortunately, the removal did not line up. They didn't get their Torches of Permafrost on that lifesteal unit, and that was brutal end to that one.
Yeah. If you're an aggro deck and your opponent's big fat lifestealer.
Well, that was pretty sweet. Welcome back to the booth, everyone. That was a really cool 3-game match. I'm really glad we featured